This short video will show you how to use the message center in Skyward to send messages and reminders to students and parents through family and student access. So I want to thank Brad Farinu for allowing me to use his teacher gradebook. And to start, we're just going to go to Brad's gradebooks. And we're going to go to the first gradebook here he has. And as his gradebooks come up, we're going to go over to Other Access and then choose the Message Center. So Brad doesn't have any messages in his Message Center, and I am going to first add a message for the current class. So I'm just going to type in and then I had copied a message for Brad to have posted. The class did a good job on the Chapter 1 math test. Keep up the hard work and have a great weekend. So I put my message in however I want it to look, and then I go down here to my options. So I can pick the date that it posts. I can choose to post it to family and or student access. I can allow parents and kids to respond. I can also post it to the student and family calendar. This is helpful if I have an assignment or a project that is going to be coming due. I can put it on the message center, but then I also can put it on the calendar as something that students need to be attentive to. It would then show up on whatever date that you put, and then a brief text message that would explain what it is. I can email the message, so I can send it, pick the date and the time. I can email students and or their guardians. I can also choose from lists of recipients as long as they have an email address in the system. I can email additional recipients, such as a guidance counselor or a colleague or a principal if you felt that it was necessary. You can add additional details into the body of the email, like the course name, what period you have it, and your name. If you wanted to send it to selected students, now when you do this, it is automatically going to select all the students in that class. But you could also select certain kids or only send it to one. You could clear them all and choose who you were sending the message to. So this one's done and ready to go. So I'm going to press save. And now this message will come up in Family Access. I could send it to all of my classes, but you need to be careful with that. And I'm going to show you why. So I'm going to type the same message basically. And then I would go down, and I'm just going to leave these options all the same. But now whenever I go down here, you'll see that Brad, as most elementary teachers, have a significant number of grade books listed in there when they go to their grade books. And so I can look, and I see that this class 206 is a math class, but here's a 206-213. Here's another 206-206 math. So what would happen if I chose to post to all classes is this message would show up if this student here was in all of these classes. That message would show up 17 times on the student's message center. So what you have to be careful of is that you don't want to select the same class over and over and over again. So we already did this, this 206-206. So I just really want to send this to the other 206 math class. I could send it to the science class or the social studies class if I had a more general message. But in this case, there's only going to be two. At the secondary level, if you have a class that meets multiple periods, say during the lunchtime, you would only want to select one of those. I'm going to go up and press save. And now that message is it's going to show up on all of the students who have that math class with Mr. Farino, and they'll be able to see the message. I'm going to try to pull up an example of what that would look like so you can see it in the family access. And let's make sure that Demetrius belongs to this family. And we're going to go to their web login. And so here's the message that came up for Mr. Farino's class. So this is family access if you have never seen it. There are 2 students in this family. When you first log on, it shows messages for all students. It would also show up the same in Demetrius's. And in this case, if we'd have posted it to the calendar, this would have shown up wherever Mr. Farino had chosen to post it to. In this case, if the parent wanted to reply to this message, they could. It's a good way to get feedback from parents on whether they received letters, those types of things, and if they're aware of what's happening in the school. This comes up like a Facebook format. That was intentional by Skyward. So when we go back to this message center, if at some point Mr. Farino wanted to take this message off, you would just go and recall the message. And now this particular one would no longer be able to be seen on the message center for parents. If I wanted to re-put it back, I definitely could do that by pressing unrecall, and it would be back accessible. That concludes this brief demonstration. If you have questions, please do not hesitate to reach out.